The second Jewish Literary Festival was recently held in Cape Town, showcasing more than 100 authors, poets, illustrators, journalists, writers and educators. There was something for anyone who loves books, Jewish literature and culture.
The festival has been in an incubation period for probably the last decade, and it's largely because people have travelled overseas to major cities like London, New York and Sydney. And during those periods, our community has actually experienced, even from their family members, Jewish Book Week and Jewish Book Councils around the world. And we've always had this idea that Cape Town is a destination for literature, and that it should actually be a Jewish destination for culture and literature. And so when we started to talk to a group of people to start thinking around this particular project, it was absolutely grabbed with all arms. And this is our second year. We have biannual events. Our first event was in 2016 with huge success and acclaim, led totally by volunteers with enthusiasm as authors, journalists and community activists.
Writers don't get very many platforms to speak about what it is that they do. Not every writer likes to speak about what they do, they prefer to do the writing. But I think it's such an incredible opportunity for writers not only to deliver the message about what it is that they're doing, but to get the message back from the people that they're writing for, whether or not they, in this case, writing for a Jewish audience specifically. Interestingly, you know, the Jews are a sizable percentage of the book buying public, at least in South Africa. And so I think to be able to talk to that community and have them, you know, give them an opportunity to meet the writers who are telling their stories is wonderful, not only from a sales and marketing point of view, but also as a way of getting your work out to where you really want it to be.
The next day I go to school to Mrs. Carr's class, my grade 1 teacher, and with the sort of courage which has since abandoned me, I march up to her and say to her, "Can I sing a song to the class?" She's delighted, and I stand up there, and I must have seen this in a movie because I put my foot up. And I stared straight, and I tuned up, thump, 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 and I stared straight at Susan from Renshaw, and I start singing.
My involvement in literature, and especially Jewish literature, goes back to when I was a child. I love Jewish literature, I love Yiddish stories, I love the whole context of Jewish cultural life. And I felt as an individual that there was theatre, there might have been music, there were other aspects of Jewish cultural life. But Jewish literature, besides the fabulous Getlin Library, which is a repository for books, didn't have a live event in which people could congregate and celebrate Jewish literature.
Now what about science and its influence on the human and in human intelligence, right? Shouldn't science make us all more capable?
It's been fascinating because there's so much more than literature. I've been sitting on the history talks in effect about the progressive Reform Judaism and Orthodoxy and the relations, and I've just come out of Howard Phillips' talk where he's traced the first Jewish graveyard to 1839 in Grahamstown, which even beats the 1841 founding of the first shul. So that's all very exciting.
So far, whatever I attended was most interesting, invigorating. I feel really very much alive, and I'm looking forward to a few more lectures. Thank you very much for taking so much trouble and organizing organizing this festival. We do need such an injection occasionally in the community. It's been a pleasure and an education.
Well, my name's Stephen Sugar Siegerman, and I was in a film called Searching for Sugar Man about Rodriguez, and I'm talking about the book that we wrote about it.
For us, it was important to be able to place this heartbeat of literature in the community, in the heart of the community. And the Gitlin Library is clearly an important partner and player within the literature, reading and books field. And so it was important for us to start talking to stakeholders on this campus in order to be able to get buy-in. So we started with the Gitlin Library, and our partners have included the Jewish Museum and the Holocaust Center and the Garden Synagogue, and the campus is a central meeting point for minds across the community, and this was a wonderful place for us to be housed and to partner with.
The Gitlin Library is all about books and reading and literacy, which we do 365 days a year. But this particular day is so special. It happens once every 2 years and it showcases the library. We get to meet authors, and it's a most exciting, wonderful day. It showcases the library, it opens it up to all the public, those who are borrowers and those who aren't. And wow, it's such an opportunity for us as a library. We're so privileged and grateful to be part of this wonderful festival.
Over 206,000 automatically wrote the words Christian Muslims, making a profound statement that Judaism is a religion. Are they crazy? They're convinced that Judaism is a religion, Rabbi. I was shocked by that response.
Being Jewish is being a member of a particular people. This people live in a covenantal relationship with God. Our relationship with God is, unlike religions, not a personal relationship. It's a relationship of a people with God. And this people have a memory, not a history, but a memory of the stories we've told ourselves for generations about who we are. When you go down memory lane as a Jew, you meet Israel, you meet God, you meet Tikkun Olam, you meet all the things that make it important to be a Jew. That's who a Jew is. And therefore, when we educate in Judaism, we've got to teach people that they are a member of a people. We've got to teach our students, and not only our students, our adults as well, that we are a member of a people, and this people has a commitment to ensuring the future of this people.
Well, one of the memorable moments is the day that I met Nelson Mandela in the Hyde Park Shopping Centre. I went over, gradually went up to him, I introduced myself, I said, I'm Natalie Knight, this is my art gallery. I've got a fantastic drawing of you shaking hands with Dr. de Klerk. It's done by, it was a black artist who was also deaf, Tommy Motswine. He said, well, where is it? And I said, just over there. Come, I'll show you. So I edged him into the gallery. And this is where I always, Baruch Hashem, have this great muzzle. That was when my photographer was there. So she said, Mr. Mandela, would you shake hands with Natalie in front of this portrait of you shaking hands with Dr. de Klerk? He said, sure. And he was so friendly and so nice, and I have to admit that was probably the most memorable moment, and there were many.
The range of the Jewish Literary Festival is organized in a way that there is diversity and it is not an exclusive space. So it is a safe space for Jewish literature, but it is not an exclusively religious or political space in terms of Jewishness. So it is a cultural rather than a political or religious event. And for us, it was important to have a cultural face of what Jewish life is all about in this community.